Ever wonder why the bodybuilders in the old school era of bodybuilding, like Frank Zane, Arnold, Mike Mensa, look so much better and aesthetic than the bodybuilders of today? Holistic bodybuilding is taking care of the mental, emotional, social, and spiritual components of your health in order to gain muscle. There are so many ideas in fitness sphere that are seen as healthy, which are actually detrimental to your overall health and potentially curbing your progress in the gym. One of the main drivers and leaders of holistic bodybuilding movement is natural bodybuilder Joel Collette. From pure aesthetics alone, he looks literally exactly like Arnold, and he just fits straight in with the guys of the 70s. And he preaches that this look that he's achieved is down to his completely holistic approach to lifting weights. His ideas have really changed the way I approach my own food and training approach, as well as just my lifestyle in general has just changed due to Joel's kind of message, and I think it's clear in the way he looks that it's working for him. I really like his approach, and his ideas almost feel a bit countercultural in the age of steroids and powdered food and mass supplements. He's kind of a beacon telling us that it's all quite simple. And I'm just going to go through some of the ideas of holistic bodybuilding, what some people have said, share the good word of it, because I really respect the ideas that are being shared in it. And it's just kind of reinstating that idea that bodybuilding is for health and not the unhealthy, which I feel like bodybuilding has gained that reputation of being an unhealthy thing. You see people on the top of the Olympia and stuff like that, and you just think these people aren't mentally well. What you see on that stage and what you're seeing in most gyms isn't healthy, even if that's kind of what the fitness industry has kind of moved us towards. Bodybuilders in today's age just look like the physical embodiment of stress, which is obviously not what you want when you're trying to create aesthetics, which is purely the base of the sport, to look the best. And I think that comes from a holistic health point of view more than anything else. To put into perspective how important healthy eating is towards holistic bodybuilding, I feel like a lot of bodybuilders today don't actually eat that well. Smoking and poor diet are probably the two biggest causes of death worldwide. And they can just lead to different forms of cancer and diseases if you're eating poor and smoking. So you kind of need to think about poor and shit diet like smoking. Have you ever heard the thing that when smokers stop smoking, within 15 years, their lungs will be back to that of a non-smoker? Well, it's kind of the same with how you eat. Your bodies really want to heal. Our bodies just want to be healthy. That's the main thing. But by shoveling powdered food and processed animal products down our throats, we're damaging our arteries and clogging them up and giving ourselves heart problems even from an early age. Even by the age of 10, these kind of damage can be seen in our arteries. And as a young person, it's really easy to think, this isn't happening to me. But as I just said, it already has. The damage has already been happening. So you kind of need to move over to a whole food, plant-based diet to reverse those effects. And that's sort of what holistic bodybuilding is about: eating them whole foods, treating your body right, keeping yourself healthy so you can just progress and build muscle. This is the age of protein powders, a million different supplements. Logically, do you think you're getting the same amount of protein from a powder as, like, say, an organic whole food? Definitely not. Nothing is free. You can't just drink a shake and have 90 grams of protein straight into you. Why do you think the industry makes it seem like you need these products to be healthy? Simply, they are literally just profiting off it. Living healthy and getting all your nutrients from a whole food plant-based diet is so cheap to do, but obviously it's not profitable for the fitness industry. So why would they promote something when you're eating all these grenade bars and fucking protein powders? It just doesn't equal to the same as just getting your vegetables in and having whole food, natural, organic food that comes straight from the ground, just it is. You know there's no shit in it because that's how it was grown. So I think a lot of people think, and I used to think like this as well, is if it fits your macro thinking, which is kind of just like, if you got 50 grams of M&Ms and 50 grams of rice, they're the same carb-wise, so why can't I just eat the 50 grams of M&Ms? They taste better, you know what I mean? When everyone knows that 50 grams of M&Ms are full of sugar and shit, and 50 grams of rice is just straight, pure carbs, especially if it's brown rice. So you just sort of need to think like that for all of the foods you put in your body. You really don't want to be putting in that stuff that is actually just probably making you feel worse. And you can kind of trick yourself by saying, oh yeah, but it fits my macros. And I've thought like that in the past, just eating sugary cereals. And if I can fit like some shit in there, just about, I'll put it in there just because I could fit it in. But when you're doing that, you're literally doing damage to your body that can't be undone. You feel so much better if you're just eating clean, unprocessed shit. Another one that I didn't really think about before, it's kind of a weird one, but I'm trying to be a bit more mindful of it, is chewing my food. Something I'm admittedly really awful at is literally just chewing my food. If you know me personally and you've ever seen me eat, it's fucking disgusting. Like, it's just like my mouth is just a black hole and I'm just basically inhaling my food. So something I've been experimenting with is just slowing down, actually chewing my food, covering my food in saliva. You don't do this actively, you just do that through chewing. Covering it in saliva so it's covered in those digestive enzymes so you can just digest a bit better. Basically chewing my food down to a liquid, which is what you should be doing. Digestion starts in the mouth, and that's something else that a lot of bodybuilders now look like they don't do. They just don't look like their food's digesting because they're just eating shit and just shoveling it down. I think people like Jay Cutler really cemented that idea of just eating big to get big and just literally just force feeding your food down. I've done it, I know you've done it, of just, when you're trying to get big, just like literally filling your food full of mouth and down in some liquid to get it down. Like, I know it feels like you almost need to do them hard things to get to that point, but that isn't healthy, you know what I mean? And I think that's the kind of why I really like this idea of holistic approach to bodybuilding. It's a very natural, healthy way, and I generally think you get the most results of it. And you can see from Joel Collette that he has got amazing results from being a natural lifter. And I know some people would question it, but I completely believe him. I think he really knows what the fuck he's on about, and I think it'd be really good for the industry if we move towards that more natural side. And personally, I'm not really interested in the steroid side of lifting in general. I think it's kind of cool to watch. I like the Olympia. I like to see how far people can push themselves, but I definitely think I'd be more interested if everyone sort of looked like they did in Pumping Iron in the fucking 70s, you know what I mean? They just look better. I think, and no one's in denial about it. Everyone thinks they look better. That's, I think, the reason whole reason classic physique was introduced, simply just because people are trying to recreate that look that was so prevalent in the 70s, and I think that was done. Another reason why they look so much better is stress management. We live in a really stressful time. Everyone's stressed out, no one's making enough money. Screens constantly, that blue light, I'm basked in it right now, probably terrible for me. But I think unconsciously, these guys were just lifting and chilling on the beach the whole day. That's all they were doing. They were just chilling out on the beach. So the only stressful part of their day would be when they lift. And I think adopting that mindset a bit, obviously we don't have the same luxury of just being able to lift and chill on the beach. We would all love that, but I think embracing that calmness is super important. Just relaxing between when you lift. The only stressful part of your day should be not stressful, but your cortisol should raise. You should be getting a bit pumped up. Not too crazy where you're off your cool, but you should be intensity in the gym, and then for the rest of the time just completely relaxed, really getting that rest in. And I think it shows in their physique that they're able to rest, train intentionally in the gym, and rest all the rest of the time. As well, a part of that is the sunlight. Now, I live in the UK, and fucking around this time there is no sun, but as soon as it hits summer and there's actually sunlight about, I just sit in the sun all day, and I think it's super good for you. Sitting in the sun, no sun cream, just getting in all of them fucking good rays. I think people today think you need to slap on sunscreen and stuff like that, and the sun's bad for you, but the sun has such amazing effects, especially when it comes to muscle building. Can really help your body rest up. I definitely want to move out of this country, literally because of the sun. I'd love to just be in constant good weather. That would be very nice. Well, I think I covered a lot of the points that I wanted to talk about in terms of holistic bodybuilding, and just kind of what I've been thinking of. I think as well, to hark back just to food in general, I know the whole food plant-based diet has been like a main bit of the video, but I think you got to think about it as everything you put in your body is affecting both yourself, obviously your own health, but it's also affecting your kids and your grandkids just by what you eat. So when you're eating this shit, these processed foods, these processed powders, that's affecting both you right now. It's not good for you, and it's also affecting the health of your kids. You're not putting them in the best forefront of where they are born, which is kind of a terrifying thought. Someone explained it to me, the grandfather effect. Just what you eat now will affect the health of your kids. Like, we're already at a back foot. We're 4 generations into eating processed food. So we should live to 120, but we're already 10 years back because of our parents eating processed food. So let's break the chain, eat clean, whole foods, feel the best we can, feel the happiest, and you'll feel so much better than everyone around you, and you just have so much energy. I couldn't recommend it enough. It's not complicated to do. Just think, is it grown in the ground? Yes. Well, or on a tree. Is it grown naturally? Organically? Yes. Yeah. It's pretty simple like that, and it's crazy that we've got to a point where everything we do eat is so processed and so unhealthy. You just kind of need to get into the mind of thinking of eating healthily isn't a chore. Like, it's something that is going to give you the best health and best feeling ever. I don't, and it's not just for those guys that want to get muscular. It should be for everyone. Everyone should be eating healthy, regardless of if you care about your fitness goals. Just for mental clarity and peace, you'll feel just so much more in line and happy than your day to day, and spiritually as well. They all come together. That's the whole point of being holistic with your side of health. Getting all these factors in will help you just feel the best you can. Obviously, the holistic approach to both health and fitness is super good. A lot of people just focus on one aspect of, say, their physicality. They just focus on the gym. They don't really give a fuck about what they're putting in their body. The same, or people who are just on the social side of it. It's a combination of everything. You really need to bring it all together to give yourself the healthiest body, the healthiest mind possible. But yeah, I've still got a lot of information from this book I've been reading, How Not to Die. It's super good. It's just talking about sort of really open my eyes in terms of what is bad that we're putting in our bodies that we don't even really think about. It's not that people know these, they do know these things are bad for them, but I don't think they know the extent to how much damage they're causing by eating this way. And also Joel Collette's podcast episode on the Soulcast podcast. Super good listen, especially if you're into bodybuilding, but also just general holistic health. I found it a super interesting topic, and I'm definitely gonna be introducing a lot of these approaches to my life. But like the general consensus I'm getting from all the research I've been doing is just a whole food plant-based diet will basically solve all your problems. It's quite simple. I've sort of been rambling and freestyling this whole video. But yeah, so if you have any recommendations on books on nutrition or anything around the topics I've been talking about, please send them my way. I'd be super interested. Anyway, I hope you've learned something. I hope I've not been too preachy or over-explaining, but let's all strive to be the healthiest and happiest version of ourselves. So, all love. Have a fantastic rest of your day.